Hare Krishna. We continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text 12. Would anyone like to read Sanskrit?
Should I read?
Please.
Kankasantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha Shipram hi manusya loke siddhir bhavati karmaja.
Haribol, thank you. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. So Krishna is giving transcendental knowledge to Arjuna. So he's speaking in this verse about the position of the demigods. There is a great misconception about the gods or demigods of this material world, and men of less intelligence, although passing as great scholars, take these demigods to be various forms of the Supreme Lord. So demigods, for example, does anyone know who are the demigods? Anyone?
As in what is their
the names?
Or what do you mean?
The names? Some of the names of some demigods?
That could be Ganesha. There could be, which are the other ones? I'm trying to think of ones who are not the direct, what you call energies of Krishna.
Yeah. Ganesh.
I seem to have been lost. I don't know which other demigod.
Ganesh, then his father, Lord Shiva. He's a demigod. Yeah. And then we have Indra, Surya, Chandra, all these are demigods. Okay. And then we have also Durga Devi.
The mother. Yeah.
Durga Devi. So they are not, all these are not Supreme Lord. They are, and because many people think that, oh, all of them are God. It's okay, you call anyone and this is all God. No, actually the demigods are not different forms of God, but they are God's different parts and parcels. God is one, and the parts and parcels are many. So these great personalities, they are living entities. They are very qualified living entities. They are spirit souls, like how we are spirit souls. And so the demigods are also spirit souls, but they're qualified to be in that position. They're qualified by their desire and by their activity to take on this responsible position on behalf of the Supreme Lord to control certain divisions, certain departments of the universe. So they each take up a certain department of administration in this entire universe. So like, for example, Lord Indra, he's in charge of the rains, and then Surya Dev, he's in charge of the sun, and Chandra Dev in charge of the moon. And so like that, they are Vayu Dev in charge of the wind. So like that, there are 33 crore demigods, and they're all living entities. And they are all listening to God's order. God is one, and all these are his assistants to manage the universe. Like how there is one president, and then under the president, there are so many cabinet ministers, so many ministers in charge of every department of running the country. So that is the position of the demigods. The Vedas say Nityo Nityanam. God is one. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. God is one. There are not many gods. Otherwise, there is no meaning to the word God. Ishvara Parama Krishna. The Supreme God is one, Krishna. And the demigods are delegated with powers to manage this material world. These demigods are all living entities, Nityanam, with different grades of material power. So the demigods, they are also in the material world. They are also having material bodies, although they are also spirit souls like us. We, each and every living entity is a spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. But right now we are in this material world and we have this covering of the material body. So the demigods are also same. They also have material bodies. It's not that they are having transcendental bodies or spiritual bodies. So they cannot be equal to the Supreme God, Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna. Anyone who thinks that God and the demigods are on the same level is called an atheist or pasandi. Even the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. So even great, because Lord Shiva, he's the leader of the demigods. He's called Maheshwar, the best of the demigods. So he's the greatest of the demigods. Lord Brahma, he's the one who's doing the secondary creation of the universe. So he's the greatest person in this universe. But even Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, they cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. In fact, the Lord is worshipped by demigods such as Brahma and Shiva. Shiva Virinchi Nutam. So because we hear the prayers in Bhagavatam is full of prayers of Brahmaji addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna, glorifying him. And then Lord Shiva glorifying Krishna's position. So these demigods are in fact happy when we worship Krishna. They don't want us to worship them. Because they are all devotees of Krishna. They are pure devotees of Krishna, Brahmaji and Lord Shiva. Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are pure devotees. The other demigods are also devotees, but not pure. They still have material desires. That's why they're put in this position of management, of administration. But they're all devotees, great personalities. So there is a difference, and that's what we need to understand. The difference in position of the Supreme Lord and of the demigods. Is that okay? Did anyone want to add anything to it or have any comments to it? Any questions about it? No? Okay, so then we'll read on. Yet, curiously enough, there are many human leaders who are worshipped by foolish men under the misunderstanding of anthropomorphism or zoomorphism. Iha Devata denotes a powerful man or demigod of this material world. So because many people, they take an ordinary living entity, an ordinary human being as God. But no, only God is God. We have to understand what is God's position, and then we need to worship him the correct way. Like Krishna says throughout the Bhagavad Gita, I am God and worship me. He's saying it throughout the Bhagavad Gita, and he's saying, if you worship me, I will protect you. You surrender to me, I will protect you from all sinful reactions. No one says that. Lord Shiva never says he's God. Lord Brahma never says he's God. Ganesha, he never says he's God. Durga Devi never says she's God. What they are doing, in fact, they're always serving Krishna. We see Lord Shiva, he's always sitting in meditation. Who is he meditating on? He's meditating on Sankarshan. His Ishtadev is Sankarshan. He's always meditating on him. And Durga Devi, under whose order is she working? She is working under the order of Krishna. So But Narayan, Vishnu, or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not belong to this world. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Krishna says in 4th chapter, the 7th verse, we heard, right? 7th or 9th, we heard, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yoveti tatvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. That anyone who can understand, Krishna is saying, anyone who can understand that his activities, his appearance, his pastimes are all transcendental, they are not material, then such a person, he does not need to take birth in the material world again. He goes back home, back to Godhead, because he is able to understand Krishna's position in truth. When Krishna comes to this material world, he does not take on a material body as we take. We are living entities, we are souls, but right now we have taken on this material body because we are in this material world. But when Krishna comes to the material world, his form, that is not material. He comes in his own spiritual form. The example Prabhupada always gives us to help us understand this point is that the prisoner is put in the prison because of breaking certain laws. And when he's in the prison, he has to follow the rules of the prison. He has to wear the uniform of the prison, and he has to do whatever is required for him in the prison. And he cannot leave the prison. Only when his term is finished, only then he can leave the prison. But a president can come and go inside the prison and outside the prison as he wishes. As he wishes. Nobody's going to stop him. And the reason he will enter the prison is just to see, is there any prisoner who is rectified, who is remorseful, who has changed his behavior, and who is able to be let out in the normal society. But if the president who's visiting the prison, and then the prisoner says, oh, the president is also here, so the president is also a prisoner, then this prisoner is being foolish. Instead of approaching the president and understanding, oh, the president can help me get out of this prison, let me speak to him, he's here, let me take advantage of him coming here, let me try to see how I can get out of this prison fast. If instead of doing that, he says, no, the president is also a prisoner, then he's wasting his opportunity which is given to him. So this is what Krishna is telling us, that we need to understand that when he comes to this material world, he is coming in his transcendental form. He's not taking a material form. He is above or transcendental to material creation. Even Srimad Shankaracharya, the leader of the impersonalists, maintains that Narayan or Krishna is beyond this material creation. So Srimad Shankaracharya, he's the leader of the impersonalists. And even he says that Narayan is not, Narayan's form is not material. Even he says that Narayan or Krishna are transcendental, beyond this material creation, that the material energy cannot touch, cannot influence Krishna or Narayan, as she is able to influence us. We are under the control of material energy. We are under the control of goodness, passion, and ignorance. But the Supreme Lord is not. However, foolish people, Shrita Jnana, worship the demigods because they want immediate results. They get the results, but do not know that the results so obtained are temporary and are meant for less intelligent persons. So why is it that we worship the demigods? We worship the demigods because we know that they can give us some material benefit. And those material benefits we can get immediately. If I worship Lord Shiva, he will immediately be pleased and he will fulfill my desire. it's very popular to worship Lord Shiva, to have a good husband or a good wife, or a, for some, very, 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 very popular, Lord Shiva, because everyone says, Lord Shiva is very easy to please. And so let me try to worship him, and then I can get something from him. But then we have to understand that's like a business transaction. And not only that it's a business transaction, but it still keeps us here in the material world. It still keeps us here. It does not give us the knowledge that, hey, you're not the body or the soul. It, in fact, deepens our ignorance. It, in fact, makes us forget more our true self, who we truly are. So the demigods of this material world, as well as their worshippers, will vanish with the annihilation of this material world. The boons of the demigods are material and temporary. So whatever we get from the demigod, it is temporary. It's only till the time we are in the body. Once the body is finished, that it's gone then. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And this entire material world is going to finish at one time. So then what's going to happen with the boon? So that means whatever effort I put, it's just to get something very temporary. It's to get, still I will be in the material world, and still I will be getting something which is so temporary. Both the material worlds and their inhabitants, including the demigods and their worshippers, are bubbles in the cosmic ocean. So Prabhupada is trying to explain to us the temporary nature of this material world, and that the boon, the benediction we get from the demigod, although it's very quick, but how long will it last with us? We ourselves, how long can we be in the body for? How long can each of us be in this body? We have to change the body. So as soon as the body is changed, the boon is gone too. In this world, however, human society is mad after temporary things, such as the material opulence of possessing land, family, and enjoyable paraphernalia. So we are crazy, mad after temporary things. We are crazy, rushing to get land, have good family, have things with which we can enjoy, and our whole time and energy and efforts is going only towards this end. And with the modernization, the society, the way it's moving, at the pace it's moving, it just keeps on making this idea more and more that, yes, the more you have of these things, the happier you will be. They're trying to sell us this idea at every moment. The more you possess, the more you will enjoy. To achieve such temporary things, people worship the demigods or powerful men in human society. If a man gets some ministership in the government by worshiping a political leader, he considers that he has achieved a great boon. So if we know someone in power, we feel, oh yes, let me try all the energy, all the effort we'll put. Yes, I know this person. Why? Because I'm going to gain so much out of it. But it's not wrong to get these things. But the idea to understand is that these things are temporary. They are temporary. They'll be finished once the body is finished. All of them are therefore kowtowing to the so-called leaders or big guns in order to achieve temporary boons. And they indeed achieve such things. Such foolish men are not interested in Krishna consciousness for the permanent solution to the hardships of material existence. So if we have been in this material world a very long time, millions of births. We have been keeping on changing our bodies, sometimes in the body of a human being, sometimes in the body of a dog, sometimes in the body of a demigod, Brahmaji. We have been Brahma also. But we are all changing. We're changing our body. And then, but we are not able to understand that oh, this is a temporary situation. I am not this body. I'm just keeping on changing my body, trying to enjoy. I think, oh, this body is not so great. But if my situation changes, I will be able to enjoy more, and then I will be happy. So this is what's going on. Like we are in the jail cell. And so one person is in a third class jail where he has, say, very bare minimum. And so what is he endeavoring for? Let me go to the first class jail where I will have a really cushiony bed and a really nice blanket. So in the third class jail, he has like, like a humble bed and a blanket just enough. And like, okay, food, just enough food. But he's thinking, let me go to the first class jail. Over there, I will have such a lavish, the food is so good, and the room is so well decorated, and I'm going to be so much happier, and I'm going to enjoy more. But we forget that it's the jail after all. Even if I come to the first class jail, I'm still in the jail. I'm not gotten out of this material world. And I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul. I have been given this human body. Let me use it to understand, to cultivate spiritual knowledge, to understand who am I truly. So it's not that we disregard totally the body, because we are in the body, so we have to maintain the body. That's okay. But we should also understand that I'm not the body. So let me also try to cultivate spiritual knowledge. Let me try to take out some time to hear and chant, because that is what is eternal. So they are all after sense enjoyment, and to get a little facility for sense enjoyment, they are attracted to worshipping empowered living entities known as demigods. This verse indicates that people are rarely interested in Krishna consciousness. They are mostly interested in material enjoyment, and therefore they worship some powerful living entity. So it's very rare, it's not very often that we come across people who are really interested to understand the truth, to really understand who am I, what am I doing here, and how do I get out of here. But most of us are all interested in how can I enjoy more and more? What can I do that will make me enjoy to a better capacity? But Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, even if you want to enjoy, you come to me. Even if you have all the material desires, you worship me. Why? Because if you worship the demigods, then you will get the benefit of the desire, right? You will get whatever you ask for, but you will still remain in the material world. But if you ask me with these things, gradually, you will understand that these things are temporary. Gradually, you will begin to understand your true position. So whatever is our position, we are full of material desires, we have no material desires, or we desire liberation, it's in our best interest to worship Krishna. Because each and every living entity is originally Krishna conscious. We are not these bodies. We are eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. And each of us is Krishna conscious. And the way, the most sublime and the easiest way to revive our original Krishna consciousness in this age of Kali is by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. By hearing and chanting, we can get the highest benefit. Is that okay?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm not sure, but what would be the Prabhupada's suggestion for a situation where, especially in India, where people come across, while traveling, they come across some mandir, which is not a Krishna temple. So, like, suppose we are traveling and we come across a mandir
Yeah. So by all means, pay
What suggestions?
respect. Pay respect. Pay respect. Like Lord Shiva, Lord Chaitanya would go to Shiva temples. Why? Because Lord Shiva is a great devotee of Krishna. These are great devotees, the demigods. So give them all the respect. Respect them, yes. Bow down to them, yes. Say Hare Krishna to them. They're very happy when you tell them Hare Krishna. Go meet them, but don't worship them. Worship is for Krishna. Worshipping is for Krishna. So all respect, these are great personalities, and we are taught to respect even an ant. So when you're traveling, you come across a temple, you go bow down to them, say Hare Krishna to them, offer respect to them.
We pay our obeisances.
Yeah,
it's okay, right?
yes, of course. Very good. Understanding that they are devotees of Krishna, that they're parts and parcels of Krishna. Understanding them in relation to Krishna. And the devotees, they go to the demigod temples, but they don't take the prasad of the demigods. They don't eat the demigod prasad. They eat only Krishna prasad. They eat food which is first offered to Krishna. They don't eat food which is first offered to the demigods.
Prasad is being offered.
I'm sorry?
Prasad is being offered at all the temples.
Yes. So the devotees, usually they will not take it. They will not eat that prasad. So even if they take it, they might not eat it. They'll give it to someone else who is willing to eat, like who's wanting to have it. Because the devotees who really eat only Krishna prasad, then they will go to the demigod temple. They will offer respect to the demigod. They will say Hare Krishna to the demigod, but they will not take the prasad. Or they will not eat it themselves. They'll give it to someone else who wants it.
But having prasad also in such a scenario is not prohibited, right?
Prohibited? Well, I'm just telling you what the devotees do, because they eat only Krishna prasad.
Yeah, so for anyone who is
the worshippers of demigods, they eat demigod prasad. Yes.
No. I'm saying a worshipper of Lord of Bhagavan also can have. It's not prohibited, right? Can also have prasad in other temples, right? So I do eat prasad. I do eat, like, for example, I do eat langar prasad over here also, wherever I stay, where I'm staying.
Okay. So then, because see, anyway, you're eating outside also, right?
Yeah.
So then it doesn't matter to you, right? I'm talking about the devotees who don't eat anything other than Krishna prasad.
You mean you are talking about the devotees who have taken the initiation?
Not necessary.
Not necessary, right?
No, not necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
the condition we are in is a little bit complicated. So I
yeah,
guess,
that's what. So see, that's what, according to time, place, and circumstance, then, everyone, each of us makes our, but what we are reading here is what Krishna is saying, right? So when respect to demigods, yes, of course, all respect should be given to them. They're great personalities, they're devotees. And what to say demigods, we should not disrespect anyone, even an ant. That's what Mahaprabhu says, that respect should be given to everyone. Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, did anyone have any other comments or questions?
No, all good.
Because instead of going into another, because this is speaking about the Varna Sharma, I was thinking if anyone had any questions, we would take questions. If not, then we'll stop here and then we can chant one round. That's okay. Yes? So,
Okay.
thank you so much for listening and joining. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.